All right, everyone, here we are, Project Blown 29. We spent a few hours over at Cousin Larry's house yesterday with his mill, and we machined off the top of this intake. I had already put up a video on the machining of that. That was pretty neat. Trying to make your own parts and being able to make your own parts is a pretty neat deal, and when you have friends and stuff that have tools that can do that kind of neat stuff, it's fun. It's fun to be able to machine your own parts and make this kind of stuff happen. So here's just kind of mock-up. Everything's in mock-up right now. Yesterday I spent some time before I went over to Larry's house kind of setting the body and the chassis the way I'm going to want to see it when it's done. And this was my goal, was right here, is to have the frame and the body sitting parallel each other. And I ended up picking up the front of the body right here 3 3/4 of an inch, because that's what it was channeled over the frame. And when this thing was built back in the 80s, the person that built it, that was the look they were looking for. It was kind of a raked look with the body on the frame. They had that short 29 grill up here in the front, and now that I'm trying to put my style likes into it, I'm going to a 32 grill. And so I have it sitting in here. I cut the front apart, took the front suspension out, and there's the piece laying on the floor here that I cut out that was holding the spring and front end before. And like you see in at my beginning video, my very first video of this is how the front end was mounted in front of the grill. Well, now I'll be mounting the front end underneath the grill here, and I'll be using this piece of channel here and drilling the holes and stuff through there to mount the spring to, and that channel will just fit below the radiator. The radiator will basically sit on top of that channel then. So I have just enough room to get that underneath there. I think I'll be back to the same ride height again. My plan for today is to basically drop this all down at my desired ride height and kind of get a feel of how the car is going to sit when it's all done. So I'll be jacking this back up, lowering my stands down, lowering everything down to the point where I think that will end up being ride height when I'm done. So just kind of had to set the supercharger up on the top of the engine here last night after I got back. Had to put the carbs and stuff up on it, kind of get a feel of how everything was going to look, and it's pretty exciting. It's pretty neat looking. So I have the front nose piece off. I thought I was going to have to shorten that for the length, but I think I have just enough room and everything back here to get the supercharger pulley on down there, and for the snout to be able to fit out here. I think I have just enough room behind the fan and everything to make all that work. So I am going to raise the engine up and the transmission up to kind of correspond with how high I raise the body up. So I'll be lifting everything up a few inches too to bring it up closer to the bottom of the body. And I'm pretty certain that my rear suspension will end up coming up too. I got like 6.5 inches between the axle housing and the frame right now with this spring setup that was in here before. But I'll be switching over to QA1 coilover shock combo spring. And so I'm pretty certain I'm going to end up lowering the body or the frame down a little bit to get the right ride height of the car. So, and I'll be 4-linking all this back here. I'll be getting rid of these big atrocious traction bars, whatever they are. They're like 1/2 inch thick steel. So those will be going away. I'll be 4-linking it, give it a little bit better ride. And then I did pull out most of the interior and stuff in here. And you can see with raising the body, my pedals are barely sticking up through the floor now. So that's all. I'll be raising the engine and the transmission to kind of bring that stuff back up. So like I said, this is really early in the mock-up stage. Things could still change yet. This is kind of the direction I'm heading. I'm kind of liking the look. I did get a hood for it from Speedway. That's a fiberglass hood that fits from a 29 body to a 32 grill shell. But the hood is really short. I'm going to end up having to cut it, stretch the hood out, which is fine. It's fiberglass. That's easy to deal with. So then I'll end up having a hood on here, you know, and it'll be an option. I might drive with it on some days. Some days I might just take it off. But the ultimate goal is to pretty much have, you know, about this much of the carburetor coming up out of the hood. But I think I'll be able to achieve that by lifting the engine a couple inches here. So I don't know if those are the air cleaners I'm even going to run. Not sure yet. Things could change. But right now, that's where I'm at with the mock-up of it. It's heading in the right direction. I'm really liking the look now. There's the old grill hanging up on the wall. I think I'm going to probably put a picture in there. It looks like a great picture frame to me. So I'll stick a picture of the car in there, maybe when the car is all done or something. But so thanks for watching. Subscribe, share, comment, all that fun stuff. Thanks, guys.